Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative. Today we're going to be talking about the question I get asked most: what do I shoot on and why? So at home, I have a lot of cameras, like a lot of cameras. I'm starting to build up a collection of different cameras that work in different situations, but the one that I shoot with the most is not my best camera. It's a camera that just kind of works and fits with me and can fit in a pocket most of the time. So this is the setup that I have. This is a Canon M100 mirrorless camera. This is a cropped sensor camera. This is not even the most current version of this. There's currently an M200, and the lens that I use is a broken, I believe this is a 22mm f2, and it's literally just a tiny little setup. It's perfect for shooting street photography, for doing a little bit of filming just in case this thing is not working, because this is amazing. It stabilizes footage, it's 4K, shoots it up to 60 frames per second. This is great for shooting video. This one doesn't even have any kind of internal digital stabilization, so it's always going to be shaky. It also shoots only up to 1080p, so this one is here for emergencies only. But for shooting photography, this works out perfectly great. I believe this is a 24 megapixel sensor, and again, it is cropped, but it does an amazing job in low light, in full light, and I kind of can trust myself with this camera, carrying this around in the city, maybe on a little strap, or sometimes I put a little belt loop in here or a belt clip and hang it off my belt. I think it just works, and it's something where if it gets broken, if it gets stolen, something happens, it's not the end of things. Because again, my cameras that I have at home, I would love to carry those around. They're a little bit bigger. The lenses that I use on them are a little bit bigger as well and more expensive. And it's not something you can literally just put in a jacket pocket and you are good to go. Now, the one that I kind of have begun using along with this is the Canon S90, and that's a tiny little point and shoot because it is tiny, slim. I can stick that in my pocket. This one, you have this lens, which is already a pancake lens, but it is protruding still, so it doesn't fit comfortably in a pants pocket. You can see bulge. With that little S90, it's tiny, it shoots RAW, but it only has 12 megapixels. But even with that, I've found myself taking beautiful photos. I'll show one here. But shooting this one, I get that depth of field. It's not a zoom lens, it's just a standard, 22mm lens, but it does the trick. Again, this is something I can carry with me always. This is something that I can use to Wi-Fi transfer RAW photos to my phone if I don't have my adapter. It does take standard SD cards. Right now I have 128 gigabyte SanDisk Extreme Plus in here. It works out perfectly fine. The battery is not the same as the other cameras that I do use. This is a small LPE12 battery, but it just works. I did add a little tiny hand grip, so I have something else to grip on here, because without this, there's not really much to grip on. This really does help. It's 3D printed. I did find this. Where did I find this? I don't even remember, but it does the trick. But for this, I'm really happy with this. It's something that I do feel comfortable taking with me. And again, it's good for emergency situations, for photography, for video. I can shoot professionally. I can blow this up into prints, even as big as I've done 3x2 with a 24 megapixel sensor. It is perfectly fine. So if you are looking for something to get into, the M100, I've seen it with this and its kit lens, which I think is 15 to 45 millimeters, and that goes for about 300 bucks. This is really what you should get into, and do not be worried about how small this camera is. It does the trick, and it is a very, very powerful camera. I consider every camera that can shoot RAW very powerful for me, because I can kind of play with and edit the photos afterwards. Because I'm not a perfect photographer at all, I use a lot of editing after the fact to kind of get that kind of quality that I'm really looking for. But here, it's something you can find at B&H Photo. You can find this in Facebook Marketplace, eBay, literally anywhere. And I think this is the camera that I think I would recommend to most people, even professionals, because it is just tiny. If you are going on a trip and you don't want to bring your big camera, this is what you could use. Now, one thing, this is not weather sealed, but I have used this in the snow and the rain, and I've been happy with it. But if you guys have any questions, put it in the comment section below. Don't forget I'm on Instagram at m8b9. You can email me at matt8b9@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching.